Hi guys, so something that really rubs me the wrong way is politicians and food banks. Now, we've heard from Jacob Rees-Mogg some years ago where he said that food banks are uplifting. And I think it was Dominic Raab. Yeah, it was Dominic Raab who took a selfie at the front of a food bank, smiling, of course. And here we have another example. This is Andy Preston, who's the executive mayor of Middlesbrough. He's not a Conservative, he's not a Labour Party politician, he's an independent mayor. He used to be a member of the Labour Party, but now he's an independent. But let me just read this tweet, and you can see him posing with some people, smiling, of course. Why you would smile at a food bank, I don't know, but he says here in his tweet, amazing people doing amazing things. Global forces mean increasing numbers are sadly being forced to turn to food banks. The hub in Middlesbrough Food Bank is led by a dedicated team, many of them volunteers doing sterling and much needed work. So 90% of this tweet is correct. Just the 10% that I have a problem with. So amazing people, yes. A dedicated team, correct. Global forces mean increasing numbers are sadly being forced to turn to food banks. Global forces. And he's using the present continuous here. So he's saying now people are turning to food banks. Well, some people responded to this. This is Marie Gardner. Thanks, Marie, for posting this response to him. You can see here, in 2008, there were 20... So Marie says people using these food banks. It's actually these numbers, I believe, are packages that were given to people in the past from food banks. So there were 25,000 packages delivered to families in 2008, 2009. That went up to 2.5 million in 2020, 2021. But Andy is talking about global forces. But if we go before the global forces, which was actually 2020, 2021, but let's go back to 2019, 2020, we're still talking about almost 2 million packages delivered to families. So this is before the pandemic, and this is before the current cost of living crisis. 2 million packages. Well, don't worry, Andy responds to this by saying, and wait till you hear this, he says, as a champion of food banks... What the heck is a champion of food banks? I can recommend that. If you aim to measure the proliferation of poverty, then use data from the Rowntree Foundation, John Rowntree Foundation, I think it's the John Rowntree Foundation, or other groups, Andy. A champion of food banks. Okay, I wouldn't actually say that to people. I wouldn't say it in public. And then somebody responds, global forces, and he doesn't give up. Yeah, the global forces that have pushed up the price of oil, electricity, and other forms of power all over the world. And Richard M. replies with, the number of food banks has exploded since 2010. Now, why is that? Obviously, it's not something recent. It's been going on since 2010. It exploded in 2010. But Andy continues. He replies to somebody, I'm not sure about your points. If you ask me whether the government should offer more to help people, some people's energy bills, yes, I think they should. And I think they will before very long. Well, they haven't so far. And then he's asked, what point are you trying to make? And you can see here, this is the information from the Trussell Trust. Food bank usage increasing. And... Michael Hopkins says there's something seriously sad and morally wrong in society when people have to rely on food banks in this day and age. Andy replies, it's very sad. I don't think that food poverty is new. Oh, now he realizes. And I don't think it will ever disappear. Well, I would like it to disappear. I think it can disappear if we actually invested in it, invested in ending poverty. Because we could actually calculate how much it would cost, and we could spend that money and end poverty. If there was a political will to end poverty, we could do that. But we should all aim to fight food poverty. And he's called out once again on global forces. So you have this, once again, these images really rub me the wrong way. The idea you have a politician posing at a food bank, smiling about it. Food banks exist because government is not working. If government actually functioned correctly, if there was a proper social safety net, it would be not necessary to have food banks. Food banks are a demonstration of failure. They should not exist. Some people will say, well, what about wasted food or stuff that's dumped? That's separate. That's different. But the primary role of the food bank is to provide food to people who can't buy the food themselves. They can't afford it. And food banks also provide another service. They're actually giving money to people to heat their homes, charging up these cards that they have or little keys or whatever, charging those up for people in order to heat their homes. So they're providing food and fuel. This is unacceptable. It should not continue. It should not exist. Unfortunately, charity is stepping in because government can't be bothered to do its job. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.